What's going on, YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. So I just did a review on the Sawmill Ark-N-Saw Bowie that came to me from Brody over at Wisconsin Edge, right? Did a whole review on it, did everything, showed you the blade. Now, I told you guys that it is a carbon-based blade because I know they happen to use tool steel, and I know that it is a carbon base. So I believe there's no way to really know except for kind of one way to easily find out. Now, people were writing to me and commenting saying, yeah, but Amazon said it's stainless steel. And here's the thing. Amazon, these people over there are selling these knives. They get these knives in like a big box of knives and a whole thing. And they really don't know what's what. They say stainless steel. If the box has no designation on it, they're just assuming it's some kind of 440. So they're saying, oh, yeah, it's stainless steel, and they're throwing it on there. But these guys are absolutely clueless. So when you're shopping on Amazon, understand this. You're shopping from somebody who probably has no idea what the heck he's holding. Because these people are true when it comes to knives. If you want to know what a knife is, you go to a knife person. Now, I can't tell you this is stainless or carbon without testing it. So today we are going to test it because people should know what they're buying when they're buying. Now, I believe you can pick this thing up for under 25 bucks. Look at the review and you can see that it is definitely worth the 25 bucks. But here's the deal. We got to find out if it's carbon. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to try and blue it. Right? If you already know or don't know, blue will not come about on a stainless blade. So if this is stainless steel and I put on some super blue, it's not going to change the color. If this is carbon, if it's high carbon, it'll start turning like black, the whole thing. If it's got a nice carbon mix, just a low carbon mix, then you'll get spots of the black, right? So depending on how much carbon is in there is depending on how much blue it takes, right? So the darker the blue gets, the more carbon. Pretty simple. It's the easiest way to tell if your blade is stainless or carbon. It's just try and blue it. So what I'm going to do is, because I've been using it, having fun, I've been chopping firewood with it. You can see it's kind of grungy. I've been using it all day, having some fun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go wash it off. I'm going to vegetable oil this thing, and or even just wash it and get off some of the caca, dry it really nice, and then try and blue it. Now this blue, I lost the cap for this like a year ago. So this has been without a cap for a long time. So I don't even know if that matters. I don't know if leaving it open and with oxygen getting in there takes away its strength or removes its ability to do what it has to do. I have no idea. So we'll try it. If it blues, it blues. If it doesn't, what I'll do is, I'm pretty sure somewhere around here I have another bottle, because I usually do. Or I can always just go to Dick's tomorrow and get another bottle. But if you're looking to blue stuff, this crap is awesome. Who's that made by? I think I actually did a full video on this. Birchwood Casey Super Blue. And you can find it right at Dick's. This stuff is great for bluing. All right, so let me go wash the blade and come right back. Okay, so the blade is now clean, mostly. And you can see I've been chopping with it, and I did the video and I forgot to show you guys the edge. There is no edge damage on this knife. It actually looks pretty good. Pretty good. So let's make sure it's all dry here. That's what we have legs for. And I'm going to take a paper towel and we're going to take some of this super blue. Hopefully it's still good. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the filed area and see if that does anything. Oh, hey, look at that. Immediately. See that color? That's bluing. So, for all of you guys who went on to Amazon and Amazon told you that this is a stainless steel blade. Well, let me tell you, Amazon, like I said, doesn't know what they're talking about. You have people who have these stores on Amazon and they want to sell you stuff. So they put up as much information as they know, but not exactly true information. They're just trying to appease people by saying, oh, yeah, this is what it is. They have no idea. What they're doing is they're reading the box or they're looking up on the website. Like if they were going to sell a cold steel knife and they didn't have a box for it, what they would do is they'd look up on the website of Cold Steel and it would say, oh, well, this is 52-100 steel. And they'd say, oh, this is 52-100 steel, like they know what they're talking about. But reality sits in and they have no idea what 52-100 is. Look at that bluing. So let's start bluing the other part, the edge there. So reality sets in. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just going. So now, if they have a knife where there's no direct website, like if you look up this knife, you're gonna find like Smoky Mountain and all that. There's not gonna be a single website to go to that's Sawmill cutlery, right? So the only way that they can get, the knowledge of what's in this steel is if they went to Pakistan where it's made and talk to some Pakistani knife makers. You see that bluing? That is a carbon-based blade. Is it high carbon? No. Is it carbon? Yes. Now, the cool thing is, and this is why I love carbon, you see me do this with a few other knives, it makes it look older when you have a carbon blend and not so much of a true, like a really high carbon. When you have a carbon blend, it gives you that sporadic bluing, especially if you keep going along the tip, along the edge, you'll get a line. And if you do it right, and I did it on my my Cisco, what was it called? Not the Wild West Bowie, but the Cisco, I can't think of the name, but a primitive Bowie, the Cisco primitive. I blued that entire thing, but I did it in a way to where I wanted to make it look like it was kind of like San Mai. And it actually came out really cool. It looks like it's 100 years old, the knife. It's less than a year old, but it looks crazy old because of how the blue took, right? So let's get some of the other side of this knife now. I mean, this is pretty simple. You want to find out what's in a knife? Blue it. And then if it takes blue, wow, you could see, like, you'll see it darken in one spot, but not other spots. It means this carbon is mixed in, but it's not a perfect blend. These guys have some steel. They've got carbon steel. They've got stainless steel, and they're blending it, and they're folding it and putting it all together, but it's not perfectly done. And so you're going to find spots of this blade where you're hitting like this big carbon deposit, it looks like, and you're getting that. And then other parts where you're hitting, the outside, right under that layer might be a bunch of carbon, but right over that layer is just going to be a impenetrable base of, stainless that isn't taking the blue. So I was able to age this blade, which is brand new, brand spanking new. Today was the only day I've ever used it, but now it looks like, and here's a thing that's really cool about doing the bluing and why I appreciate having that dirty looking blued blade. This knife company designed this knife to make it look like an old rasp file. That's what they wanted. They wanted it to look like they took a file, sanded it down, and turned it into a knife. Yeah, look what we did with this file, which is really cool. My first ever knife that I made was from a rasp file, and it was awesome. So I can appreciate why they would do this to give it that look, and I absolutely love it. I really, really dig it. The problem is, if it's too shiny, then it doesn't look like some old tool. And right now, you can look, See this line right here? That's almost San Maya-ish, like where the like it looks like it's a fold of steel right there. And here's your nice here's gonna be your nice stainless edge with your folded over carbon. You know what I mean? Hard steel, soft steel. That's what it looks like, and I really like that. So what you can do if you're doing this, especially, you put on some blue, you wipe it in there, and then you can rinse it with cold water, dry it off, and then redo that. And you can do it over and over again to get your blue darker, or to an area where you just like. You hit a spot and you say, yep, that's how I want it. And that's exactly what I did with my primitive Bowie. Is I got it to an area where I thought, yep, this looks cool, and I left it as it was. And that's pretty much where I'm at with this. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to do the cold water treatment and try to blue it even more, because I think it looks cool looking old, And right now, that is pretty cool looking. That is cool looking. If you like a nice old looking blade, and remember, it doesn't change any of the properties of the steel. Bluing it, it doesn't change the hardness. It doesn't change the edge retention. Nothing. It just makes it look like it's old. So now you take this knife out and it looks like some rugged old beast. And you know what I mean? And you start swinging it away and you start chopping at things. And then people say, wow, man, look at that. That freaking knife looks like it's 100 years old. He's chopping down trees with it. It's about 100 days old. So there you go. I hope that answers the questions. Is it stainless or is it a carbon blade? It is definitely got carbon in it. So do they use tool steel? Yes, they do. Is Amazon correct? No, they're not. Amazon never knows what they're talking about. They put stainless steel, but every carbon blade has stainless mixed in it. So there you go right there. There you go right there. The Sawmill Ark-N-Saw Bowie. What's it made of? Carbon steel blade. And it's about, I'm assuming that the people who make the Cisco knives it probably comes from the same Pakistani factory as this, because it takes the same kind of patterns as this Cisco steel. So I'm guessing that this blade is the exact blades probably that are done, that they make out there for the Cisco company. I'm assuming that they're all done by the same people, because size, shape, weight, everything pretty much is exactly the same, especially when I blew my Cisco knives. This is exactly how it turns out. So I'm pretty much thinking that if you want an Arkansas, think about getting a more refined Cisco. It looks like they make the Cisco buoys and then they make these ones, or they take a Cisco buoy and they just refine it, and that's where you're getting your sawmill. So that's it. Pretty badass. That's cool. That's a cool old looking blade now. And now it looks like it should look with this stuff on there. If you're gonna make it look like an old tool and some tool steel, make it look like some old tool steel. That's the way I believe anyway. So that's it. There's questions answered. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next night.